I'm Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill Melinda Gates Foundation. Ask me anything. I'm excited to be back for my 5th AMA. Melinda and I recently published our latest annual letter. Link year it's addressed to our dear friend Warren Buffett, who donated the bulk of his fortune to our foundation in 2006. In the letter we tell Warren about the impact his amazing gift has had on the world. My idea for a David Pumpkins sequel at Saturday Night Live didn't make the cut last Christmas, but I thought it deserved a second chance. Link great questions so far. Keep them coming. Link I've got to sign off. Thank you Reddit for another great AMA. And thanks especially to Link. What are the limits of money when it comes to philanthropy? Philanthropy is small as a part of the overall economy, so it can't do things like fund healthcare or education for everyone. Government and the private sector are the big players, so philanthropy has to be more innovative and fund pilot programs to help the other sectors. A good example is funding new medicines or charter schools where non-obvious approaches might provide the best solution. One thing that is a challenge for our foundation is that poor countries often have weak governance, small budgets, and the people in the ministries don't have much training. This makes it harder to get things done. If we had more money we could do more good things. Even though we are the biggest foundation, we are still resource limited. Edit. We discuss this in our annual letter this year. www.gatesletter.com. Do you ever disguise yourself and just walk around incognito? I sometimes wear a hat. For example, when I did college tours with my son, I wanted the focus to be totally on him. A lot less people recognize me when I have a hat on, or else they realize I am trying to be incognito. Mostly when people do recognize me they are super nice, so I don't feel it is a burden to be noticed most of the time. Billionaire. Check hat completely disguises him. Check Bill Gates Marvel superhero. Confirmed. Link. Can you still jump over an office chair from a standing position? Edit. Reference for those who need it. No. Perhaps a small chair, a stool. I do exercise and ski, but my main sport is tennis, which doesn't involve jumping. Some people jump over the net, but that isn't part of the sport. What kind of technological advancement do you wish to see in your lifetime? The big milestone is when computers can read and understand information like humans do. There is a lot of work going on in this field: Google, Microsoft, Facebook, academia. Right now computers don't know how to represent knowledge, so they can't read a textbook and pass a test. Another whole area is vaccines. We need a vaccine for HIV, malaria and TB, and I hope we have them in the next 10 to 15 years. Slite. Hey Bill, so what's the status on that Age of Empires game you said you would look into last time? I know it's been ages since you, LeClick, began this campaign, but I finally have an answer for you. Hopefully it will be worth the wait. Link. While pretending I care about humanity, this is the reason I'm here too. Please Mr. Gates. I owe my entire college ambitions and career choice in the history field because I spent long hours as a kid playing OWEII until odd hours of the night. In your talk at Columbia University last month, you and Warren Buffett both emphasized the importance of curiosity as a personal quality. Do you believe curiosity is a trait that is naturally inherited or a trait that can be cultivated and strengthened? If the latter, what methods would you recommend for people to develop and stimulate their own curiosity? Good question. I think having parents and teachers reinforce your curiosity and explain what they are fascinated with makes a big difference. A lot of people lose their curiosity as they get older, which is a shame. One thing that helps nowadays is that if you get confused about something, it is easier than ever to find an article or video to make things clear. I still find the creation of life and the way the brain works the most fascinating areas. Nick Lane has some great books exploring what we know about how life started. It is amazing how little we know about the brain still, but I expect we will know a lot more in 10 years. The brain trying to understand itself is the most mind-boggling thing. Like a mirror trying to see its own reflection. Hey Bill, I have a question pertaining to an issue in the US, and it's one that we're all get sick of hearing. Do you think social media and perhaps the internet in general has played a role in helping divide this country? Instead of expanding knowledge and obtaining greater understandings of the world, Many people seem to use it to seek and spread information, including false information confirming their existing biases and beliefs, and converse and interact only with others who share their worldview. These are things I'm guilty of doing myself. Follow-up Q. What steps should we take to help bridge this social, cultural, economic, educational and regional divide? This is a great question. I felt sure that allowing anyone to publish information and making it easy to find would enhance democracy and the overall quality of political debate. However, the partitioning you talk about, which started on cable TV and might be even stronger in the digital world, is a concern. We all need to think about how to avoid this problem. It would seem strange to have to force people to look at ideas they disagree with, so that probably isn't the solution. We don't want to get to where American politics partitions people into isolated groups. I am interested in anyone's suggestion on how we avoid this. You're going to have to change the culture, I think. Right now people think of politics like a football team, and that is dangerous. If you could give 19-year-old Bill Gates some advice, what would it be? I would explain that smartness is not single-dimensional and not quite as important as I thought it was back then. I would say you might explore the developing world before you get into your 40s. I wasn't very good socially back then, but I am not sure there is advice that would fix that. Maybe I had to be awkward and just grow up. Wow. It's like we're the same person with just 60 billion small differences. Maybe that guy has $26 billion. What are your thoughts about the recent announcement of the FCC overturning the net neutrality ISP transparency laws? Microsoft is one of the companies that have fought for net neutrality. I'm sure Bill shares the same views. I.e., this is bad. This is bad. FTFYJ, K. Bill. What do you think is the most pressing issue that we could feasibly solve in the next 10 years? A lot of people feel a sense of isolation. I still wonder if digital tools can help people find opportunities to get together with others, not Tinder, but more like adults who want to mentor kids or hang out with each other. It is great that kids go off and pursue opportunities, but when you get communities where the economy is weak and a lot of young people have left, then something should be done to help. Sure it does. I'm a straight dude and I find other guys to hang out with on Grindr all the time. It's cool, we meet up at bars and play pool and they fuck me in the ass, and sometimes we'll even go to concerts together and stuff like that. You should really try it sometimes. Edit. Guys, what? A lot of you seem confused. I mean, yay, a lot of dudes are looking to hook up on Grindr, but you know, I just tell them I'm straight and just looking for friends, and they're usually really cool with it. I even had some dudes invite me to their Super Bowl party, and oh man, these gay dudes can throw a party. Best guac dip I've ever had, and they all blew a load down my throat at halftime, and after the game was over they even got me an Uber home. I don't know what you guys don't understand. Edit 2. Oh, also, what's up Bill Gates? You're my hero. Where do you feel like the future is heading with desktop computers? Do you feel like they will become antiquated and fall out of use, or will they see a resurgence as a gaming platform? Also, are you on Grindr? Edit 3. Thank you so much for the gold. Me and all my friends from Grindr have put a lot of hard work into this comment, and the recognition from Bill Gates and Woody Harrelson means the world to me. I'd like to thank my mom, without whom I wouldn't be here today, and glad for their continued fight against the bigotry we all experience when making friends on Grindr. And oh, I'm sorry, the award goes to my friend, Galloboob, for his submission of a dog wearing sunglasses on a train. I'm serious. Let's all give a round of applause for Galloboob. Good night everyone. Mr. Gates. I was your Secret Santa recipient this year. I know you more than likely saw my ridiculously long-winded thank you on Reddit gifts, but I just wanted to say again how absolutely thankful I am for all of your wonderful gifts. I just can't believe how much you absolutely nailed my personality, and every single gift was thoughtful and just perfectly aligned with my interests. My questions. Where on earth did you get that absolutely marvelous Papermaster sword? And who edited the photo of all of us together with the Santa hats? Edit. Apparently people will think I'm being dishonest because internet. Here is the Reddit gifts post I made, and here is the Imager album with my post in case Reddit gifts breaks. Edit 2. Updated Imager link. Hello Bill Gates. What is your idea of success? Warren Buffett has always said the measure is whether the people close to you are happy and love you. It is also nice to feel like you made a difference inventing something or raising kids or helping people in need. Okay, Mr. Gates, what's a typical Bill sandwich consist of? I'm talking breads, meats, cheeses, condiments. If you could only have one sandwich on Earth, what would it be? Cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. Why do you think our healthcare systems have such a hard time leveraging the revolutionary changes in scalability that we've seen in software? Amazon is able to predict what we want, often before we realize we want it, but healthcare systems struggle to even schedule routine appointments and labs. Having worked on both the healthcare and tech sides, I think people underestimate just how big the differences are between the two fields, but I have a hard time saying who needs to bend more for us to reach a happy compromise. Also, any idea on what we as concerned patients and family members can help to encourage this compromise? I just feel like we're so close to using technology to improve efficiency and thus increase accessibility to care. Thanks for your time. It is super important to improve our healthcare system both to reduce chronic disease, but if we don't do better, health costs will squeeze out spending on all other government functions. I agree it is surprising how tough it has been to get digital medical records right and to learn from looking at those records. Still, there are some very promising things going on. For example, the idea of looking at a blood sample to find cancer very early so it can be treated. We will be able to use genomic data to tune treatments. There are a few big problems like diabetes, obesity and neurological conditions including Alzheimer's that we really need to solve. What do you personally find as your greatest achievement? Although the foundation work is super promising and will be the biggest thing over the decades ahead, I still think the chance to be part of the software revolution empowering people was the biggest thing I have gotten to do. Right now I am very focused on making sure we successfully eradicate polio. That will be amazing if we do it as good as shipping even the best software product. If you could create a new IP and business with Elon Musk, what would you make happen? We need clean, reliable, cheap energy which we don't have. It is too bad the sun doesn't shine all the time and the wind doesn't blow all the time. The Economist had a good piece on this week. So we need some invention, perhaps miracle batteries or super safe nuclear or making sun into gasoline directly. I am sure you have traveled to all types of famous places. Do you have a favorite vacation spot? Australia is particularly nice. It is summer there when it is winter here, so going there in December and January is especially nice. I spent Thanksgiving there last year. I have gotten to travel to a lot of great places like the Amazon in Brazil, which I recommend. PLs bring us better internet. Slite. Bill PLS. BLS. I have to know. I saw what you got your Secret Santa this year and it was amazing, but what did you end up receiving? Edit. Helpful Redditors answered my question below, so thank you. Follow up. What did you think of it and what would you suggest to get you, if I were lucky enough to pull your name this year? A contribution to Rotary to help end polio is a gift I would appreciate. Also, any great book you have read and found interesting. Bill, my father, Dr. William Halford, has developed a live attenuated vaccine for HSV-1 and HSV-2 that is not only preventative but can also reduce shedding, lowering transmission rates, and the frequency of outbreaks amongst those who already have it. Furthermore, people who have HSV-1 and HSV-2 are over 3x as likely to contract HIV. Currently, the regulatory nature of the FDA has created such high barriers to entry that only the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical players would be able to push through a vaccine. The approval process costs $100+ million. However, with a $4 billion+ annual market in a drug called Valtrex, which only handles outbreaks but does not prevent transmission, the large players are not incentivized to create a cure or vaccine for HSV-1, HSV-2. Instead, they have been pushing subunit vaccines, viruses that are so heavily attenuated that the body is unable to produce a long-lasting immune response. These failed trials centered around the same failed approach maintain their profits in drugs that keep those who suffer at bay rather than giving them a lifelong solution. Billions of people carry HSV-1, HSV-2 and tens of millions suffer from lifelong outbreaks. The company that the therapeutic, preventative vaccine is being tested under is called Rational Vaccines. They have recently conducted Phase 1 trials internationally and have seen profound results in the mitigation of symptoms in people with extreme cases of HSV-2. Ultimately, a live attenuated HIV vaccine will likely be the path to eradication of the disease. This was the method employed for the polio and chickenpox vaccines. However, the attenuation of the polio, smallpox, chickenpox vaccines was random rather than by design, making it risky if the virus reverted to its original form. This resulted in the infection of 1 in approximately 100,000 vaccine recipients, but this was because the virus was attenuated in one site and would, in rare case, mutate back to its original wild-type form. My father's approach attenuates the HSV-1, HSV-2 viruses in multiple locations while still leaving it 99.7% intact. Since it is attenuated in multiple locations, the odds of the virus reverting to its dangerous form are 1 in 100,003, meaning that practically no one who received his vaccine would be infected. The risk pales in comparison to the millions of people who contract HSV-1 and HSV-2 every year. So Bill, is there a way that you could look into my father's work and help guide progress in the clinical trials, approval of the vaccine? Your foundation has the potential to make that impact. Edit. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Mr. Gates. Any thoughts on the current state of the U.S.? Overall, like Warren Buffett, I am optimistic about the long run. I am concerned in the short run that the huge benefits of how the U.S. works with other countries may get lost. This includes the aid we give to Africa to help countries there get out of the poverty trap. Hi Bill, I'm going to become a father this summer. Do you have any advice you wouldn't mind sharing, from one dad to a dad-to-be? Thanks. I just went on a trip with my 17-year-old son to see 6 colleges. He is a junior in high school and trying to figure out where he should go. Trips like that have been a great way to spend time together. He reads even more about politics than I do, so I let him pick books for me to read. Melinda is very creative about helping me find chances to spend time with the kids. Even just driving them to school is a great time to talk to them. Did you copy Steve Jobs or did he copy you? The main copying that went on relative to Steve and me is that we both benefited from the work that Xerox PARC did in creating graphical interface. It wasn't just them, but they did the best work. Steve hired Bob Belleville, I hired Charles Simonyi. We didn't violate any IP rights Xerox had, but their work showed the way that led to the Mac and Windows. One could say you both Xeroxed the idea. What do you think about universal basic income? Over time, countries will be rich enough to do this. However, we still have a lot of work that should be done helping older people, helping kids with special needs, having more adults helping in education. Even the US isn't rich enough to allow people not to work. Someday we will be, but until then things like the Earned Income Tax Credit will help increase the demand for labor. Hi Bill, what's the biggest first world problem you get? I would say education is the key problem. If you can solve that, then it helps with a lot of things. Maybe I didn't understand the question, maybe it's supposed to be some idiosyncratic thing that bothers me. Link. Slite. I will be 76 at that time. Hopefully a grandfather. The foundation with its partners will have eradicated a number of diseases, and health in poor countries will be a lot better. Specifically, instead of 5% of children under 5 dying, it should be at 2.5%, which is still a lot. I hope I can still type fast enough to do Reddit sessions without someone transcribing for me. Bill, big fan, but I've got a question and I need you to formally settle it. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Good question. If you don't have a bun, then it absolutely is not. If you slice the hot dog and put it on a normal piece of bread, like Burgermaster, then it is. When you use a hot dog bun, then it is ambiguous. When you use a hot dog bun, then it is ambiguous. Hence the question, Bill, come on. We don't need this PR shit. We need to know your real opinion on this.